I love
Hmm.
that. Yeah. So
Especially,
would you say East
so,
Africa and West Africa are different?
uh, well, see, that's a big one. Because look who you're talking to. See, it's just like when a person asked me, uh, should I travel to this place? You know, if I said I had a good time.
Hmm.
But if that person goes there and they don't have a good time, that was based on them.
Hmm.
So I learned that throughout my journey. Again, I'm just one of those personalities. Wherever I go, I know how to make use of the time because one thing I know about time, you cannot get it back.
Hmm.
Some people don't have
Hmm.
that. I
I
hope
love
I
that.
said this right. And just like we were talking last time, would it
Hmm.
be easier in Africa to live a holistic lifestyle than America?
Hmm.
Now, who you're talking to is a holistic lifestyle can be lived anywhere because anywhere is going to still take sacrifices compared to the temptations you got going on in life.
Hmm.
If
I
I
see
could say
that.
that real. Other than that, you'll have a whole lot of breatharians on one side of the planet and the other planet won't have it, but you don't see that. Everybody is dealing with something, the same things in their environment just by being human.
Mm. I love that. Yeah. I'm the kind of same wherever I go, I make it my own, you know. I always feel like, your vibe will find you no matter where you are. So you create the environment. So I love that. I need to go to Africa. Another question I had for you, Elitom, is the lifestyle that you practice, right? And then you
Mm-hmm.
are all around the world. Where is it more accepted?
Oh, now that's a good one. Now, when I was in India,
Mm-hmm.
it was more accepted because you see somebody meditating on the side of the street, that's normal because it's in the culture.
Mm-hmm.
Prana, the word prana, was already in the culture. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't in the culture of the West. So places like that, is more acceptable. And then when I'm talking to a group of people and I say meditation is the foundation,
Mm-hmm.
the Eastern mind already understands, okay, that's one thing we do know.
Mm-hmm.
It gotta be that. But the
Mm-hmm.
Western mind can't get over that yet.
Mm.
This is
Okay.
why you see the breath and message being taught differently, because we got this instant gratification, because you can become a Reiki master in a weekend. So
Mhm. Yeah.
that's why that
What is that?
mindset is there.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there are some Reiki masters that took classes for 1 week. I have seen. I used to always say that when you can't even manage your own energy, don't try to manage the one on the outside. Try to heal other people when you haven't managed the one
Right.
within. But
Well, the
yeah.
point is being made is in the East, they knew in order to be a master, that took years and years and years of
Hmm.
development, wherever you're a master.
Hmm.
If you started playing started this year playing the guitar, yeah, you've been consistent. At the end of the year, you'll be playing some good
Hmm.
music. However, you're dealing with somebody who's been in the game for 20 years. We don't expect you to keep up with them.
Yeah, makes sense.
So by that person who's been doing something for a year and get a title of a master, that does not make sense. So the
Hmm.
Eastern mind already got that. So that's why, but it's understandable in the cultures. When you
Yeah.
deal with religion and spirituality in the West, we grew up dealing with
Mm.
verbal talk. So that's what we still look
Mm.
for. In the East, they always had cultivation practices. Always
Mm.
had cultivation practice where you got to do something. So
It makes sense.
that's why as the breatharian message comes to the West, people they're getting better at it, but it's easy for how should we say a speaker to win you over by saying all they did was get their mind to really believe they could live without food and it happened. And people will fall for that because that's how we've been trained,
Yeah.
through miracles, and that's still affecting us. But that's not the truth of the matter is because even though we're using that term energy,
Hmm.
energy, energy, I've been teaching classes lately where I got to teach people what energy is. You don't know. The average
Mm.
person don't know. Just like vibration and
Hmm.
frequency. We're using it in the spiritual circles, and I
Hmm.
always ask them the question, what is it? And everybody kind of pauses because it just became good words to talk.
Yeah,
I'm raising my
I know. I know what
frequency.
you mean.
And what is a vibration? yeah, but on these journeys, you really got to get educated in order so you can make some real transformational progress. If
Hmm.
not, you'll be caught in word salad, and that's all that's going to be taking place.
I know. I have seen so many of them. So many of, what do you call word salads or whatever,
Yeah, and it
It's
makes you seem smart to the ignorant because you
mm-hmm,
threw a lot
mm-hmm.
of words together.
What do
But
you
somebody
think?
like us, oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying like people who just hang on the words.
Hmm.
It's the first step, right? I always say like it's the first step to
Right,
enter, right? So first you hang on to the words, and then you hang on to like everybody wants like a bottle of juice that will fix them. If you could give them a bottle of juice that will fix everything, they would want it, right? So
right.
it starts that way, and then people you can explain to people like, okay, hey, what is energy, and how everything is energy, and how frequency works, and what vibrations is, right? But it's,
Hmm.
it's a deeper understanding, and I see like too many people are running with the words, and now they are enlightened, because they understand the words.
Right. And that's why you got to add both of them. See, one thing that the students I've been teaching lately, they understand how important the practice is as
Hmm.
you're learning,
Hmm.
because that will help you speed it up. And if you just stand over here trying to wrap your head around it intellectually, you don't know how this body is transforming or feeling. You're still trying to put a word for it. Like I got to put
Exactly.
people in their place all the time, like myself, not shooting my own horn,
Hmm.
but I've been on this journey for over 20 years.
Hmm.
And the thing about it, in the cultivation practice, my body feels totally different than not only it used to be. For a
Hmm.
person just coming in the game, you don't even know what this feels like.
Hmm.
So, in order to at least understand what I'm trying to say, at least get in the practice so you can start
Hmm.
developing. And then as time goes, you can start seeing more and more. Other than that, where you're just here intellectually, you don't even know what this person feels like and how they're talking.
Hmm. Makes sense.
I hope that makes sense.
It,
Yeah,
it
it's
does
just
make
that
sense
little.
to me, but yeah. Wow. I guess for me, I always see it just as the first step. As long as people are not like going too deep in the rabbit hole, it's the first step. Oh, I can do Reiki healing. Oh, I can do this. I can do that. And also when it comes to the food, you're supposed to
Mhm.
believe that you don't need food, and that's you're done. That's wrong. It's a lot of
Right.
people that, yeah, I always say like you have to change your frequency within so the burrito do not vibrate towards you. Does that make sense? Like you shouldn't be vibrating. Food and everything is energy, right? So whatever you vibrate towards, and whatever that vibrate towards you, that's your frequency, right? So when you align within, those things will not gravitate towards you. So that's the point where we have to get. And people are like, oh no, I can stay without food. And now they're guarding the food. So when you let go, what happened? Now they're eating again. So
Well, the question, well, that's a good point.
yeah.
But let's look at it totally different too. When people say non-eating, and then I
Hmm.
come at them so it could bring it more down to earth. All organisms eat and consume something.
Hmm.
Okay, now
Yeah.
that changes the ball game. So what you have to do is, okay, the human being lives off of food and also other sources of energy. Now everybody does that, but now your study is going to lead you to the other sources of energy need to be
Hmm.
consumed. See how this changes the ball game with the words?
Hmm.
Because if you
Hmm.
just go with the mindset of no food, you're even cutting off the other energies that's invisible that you have
Yeah.
access to. That's why people's having the trouble developing that
Hmm.
other strength of
Hmm.
absorption. Because what is eating food? You're tearing it apart, ripping it apart, or you absorbing it. That's three ways to eat.
Yeah.
So now you're strengthening your absorption, and this is what the practices are for.
Hmm.
If the absorption does not be strengthened, it ain't got nothing to do with a
Hmm.
belief again. These practices are something physically, because just like when we physically sleep, your body is in absorption mode.
Hmm. Makes sense. It
That's
makes
what needs
sense.
to be developed.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, I
Hmm.
know it does. It works.
Yeah. I
Right.
think we just misunderstand the concept of food itself, the real fuel, right? That's
Got you.
yeah. So
Got
if people think
you.
like the drug is the fuel,
Right. Right.
then
But this is why we're understanding energy again. Okay, let's look at that word energy because I see it being used in spiritual
yeah.
circles, but totally wrong.
Hmm.
Because all it is the capacity to do work. That's it. Ain't nothing mythical about it. It's the
Hmm.
capacity to do work. Now we got many different names for energy: electromagnetic energy, kinetic energy, thermal energy,
Hmm.
potential energy. I could go on and on and on.
Hmm. Hmm.
Nuclear energy, atomic energy, all of them, but it's all energy. But the reason why we gave it those different names is based on the work
Hmm.
it's doing.
Yeah.
It's based on the work it's doing. Now, I'm not going to get too deep with it, but it's the capacity to do work. But now let's look at that word work. And the reason why we measure what is energy and stuff like this is due to its motion and its movement. That's why you're
Mm.
driving in a car, you're actually using kinetic energy, mechanical energy.
Hmm.
And then we get the speed on how far you're going, how much force is being pushed. But I could go on and on and on. The human being's body is the same way. But energy cannot be created or destroyed, but the movement and motion keeps
Hmm.
on transforming itself when we give it another name.
Mm. Yeah.
So this is why I could take people through a Tai Chi practice. I had a group in Spain. Over and over again, we're doing Tai Chi. And their energy is gaining because of the slow repetition movement.
Makes sense.
Listen at this. So that's food.
Hmm.
You just ate.
Yeah. Makes
But
sense.
that's what people got to get in. But you had to do something. And
Hmm.
all you're doing through meditation is learning how to release stress and tension in the body through stillness.
Hmm.
And once you do that, it feels like you got more energy.
Yeah. You're charging. I always call meditation as charging. I plug myself in and I'm charging.
And you're
That's
charging up.
yeah.
And again, recharging is just breaking stress and tension in the body.
It really
Uh
is.
oh.
Yeah. Because you've been using this vehicle, That's how I feel at least when I come home during the day. I'm like, okay, let me sit. Yeah.
But all of that again, what I'm saying
Mm.
is food. Another way to
Absolutely.
get an energy source that's different than the one before,
Hmm.
because the one before has its mechanics to it. That's basically what the normal human being knows, but
Hmm.
it gives off a lot of toxicity also because it takes a lot of energy just to digest food. That's
Mm.
why if you are eating, you should exercise. You should move and walk and all of this afterwards, so you can have better digestion, more energy
Yeah.
flow. That's all we're saying.
But
But when you start
when
getting
people
all of
eat,
that,
yeah.
mm-hmm.
But let's say like when people eat, let's say like a big plate of whatever that's on the plate. To me, logically, I always think like, okay, that plate, when I put it inside my body, it requires energy. I need energy in my body to break that down. So the illusion is not like, okay, I put that in, now I get energy. But how would I, create the energy that will break that down? Right? Because now when I eat that, it
Right.
puts me down. How can I go and exercise? Because I've now just used all my energy on breaking this thing down. So
Right.
that's how I see it. I go work out first, and if I want to eat something, I will look into it. Like, okay, do I want to eat something now? But most of the times, the workout is always my food, is my fuel. So then
Right.
I won't even eat anything after a workout. So I choose the workout first.
Well, people can understand it just like having a bank account, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody understands that, or
Mm-hmm.
they should.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Everything you do takes energy. You're even burning energy when you're sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
This is why the body requires a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm.
You're even using energy when you're sleeping. But the human being's problem is they want to spend more energy, more money than what they have.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
want to spend more money than what you have. And what you're doing is you're learning how to accumulate, spend your money wisely, your energy
Mm-hmm.
wisely. So when it comes time to do something, you've got the energy and the power to do it. So this is
Yeah.
what we're saying.
Yeah.
So that's why that takes a lifestyle to accumulate that energy, especially in the beginning. But once you understand it's all about movement, that's
Mm-hmm.
how you gain more energy and it transforms itself into what's needed. But see, this,
Exactly.
even though we're saying it, I'm trying to say it as short as possible. This does take a lot of study. This is why I got to let people know. For people who do follow me, that's in my classes, they learn some things from night and day. Not too my own horn, but it's sort of like going to a science class. And mostly all of them say the way I thought this journey was before I started learning this is totally different now.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what
Yeah.
catches people. They got nothing to
I
do with
love that.
what people think.
I love that. I get the same
Mm-hmm.
thing from people that I talk to because I feel like they come to me while they have complicated the whole thing. And I'm like, it's not even complicated, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you simplify it for people, it's like, okay, oh my God, this is so easy. But people
Mm-hmm.
make it harder than it actually is. It's just a lifestyle. And
Absolutely is. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
However, learning the science behind it, because keep in mind, science just means knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And knowledge is what dispels ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
Knowledge is what dispels ignorance, big time. So it does
Mm-hmm.
make it a whole different ball game when a person is looking at it differently, your perception's changing, plus you're in the practice, and then you're basically getting information you couldn't get before
Mm-hmm.
because other belief systems was in the way. So yeah, this is a fabulous journey when you really start getting on course. Now,
Mm-hmm.
another thing that catches people is how much work you have to put in. This
Mm-hmm.
is the part, and I've been doing videos on social media, really bringing that to the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
Because keep in mind, this is basically at the professional level.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you're doing it on these higher levels, there's nothing to play around
Mm-hmm.
with. You will die without food. You will die
Yeah.
and starve if you do not know how to use this body yet. So this takes time to develop, and once you get on these professional levels, now a professional person is into something, they spend a lot of time and energy there, even though it don't seem like it is to them because their life is in it. So in
Mm-hmm.
other words, it wasn't nothing for me 4 hours today to be bringing in energy working on myself. But for a person who's just starting, I don't expect that.
Mm-hmm.
Your body don't have enough to handle that much energy. You're going to crave. You're going to go through a hunger period
Yeah.
because your body thinks it's working out. It's just that real. For the
Mm-hmm.
person who's been holding a light a lot longer, you're more grounded. You're into that levels
Mm-hmm.
again. You can do more.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that with everything.
Mm-hmm.
Whether if I go to music, bodybuilding, painting, right? Somebody
Mm-hmm.
who's been practicing, dedicated, got a lot more in it.
Mm-hmm.
So a person starting, you'll grow into it, but it's going to take a lot of consistency. Now, this word consistency, I shouldn't use that word really, even though we say consistency is key, but it's not really consistency.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you why. Everybody's consistent in something.
It's something, yeah.
Even if it's watching Netflix series, that takes consistency.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the consistency or the motivation. Now it's good to get a good motivational speech and say, I'm gonna start going to the gym and really transform myself.
Mm-hmm.
But there's going to be days that motivation is going to leave. You're not going to feel motivated. And you
Yeah.
got to learn how to work through that. So that's why discipline is going to go back to discipline again. Discipline is doing things that you really don't feel like doing.
Mm-hmm. It
Let
is.
me put it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And going back to that consistency is a bit about what you consisted in. Now we just did a teacher not too long ago about, I know people, this is a big one, but it's basically saying, you know how they say uh, most humans are in a sleep state, or
Yeah.
in even ancient texts they talk about humans are in a sleep state. Now, what is being awake from sleep? Now, there's some people that appears to be awake, appears to have this discipline because they're breaking through more so than somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing they got going for them is better time management.
Mm-hmm.
Better time management. And you're
Yeah.
asleep, but how is your time management? You got to really don't. That's why when you're transforming yourself, don't try to get a schedule that's too big for you.
Yeah.
It's not going to be sustainable in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
I want
Mm-hmm.
to fast for 21 days, and you never fasted for 21 days. So that don't even make sense.
No.
I'm just giving an example.
No. Like goals. Have discipline instead of goals is what you're saying?
Oh yeah, it's going to take discipline. Now the goal speaks for itself. It's
Mm-hmm.
sort of like a sports team. Every professional sports team know that their goal is to get to the championship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But don't even think about that. That's just being in the game. The championship is for the best team.
Yeah.
However, you got to take one game at a time.
Yeah. Makes
Ain't
sense.
no use in thinking about the championship when you got game number one coming. You
Yeah.
got game number two. You're preparing for game after game. Then pretty soon, as the middle of the season comes, you can see do you have a shot at the championship or not.
Hmm.
Some is over with.
Right.
So even being with ourselves, as you critique yourself year after year, there be some years you know that this goal is too big for you right now. You had a losing season.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the
I
thing
love
about
that. I love that
working with the
explanation.
body is the thing why physical exercise and internal exercises is so important because the body does not lie.
It's so true.
What
So motivation would
you
not be
put in,
around.
what you put in, that's what you're going to get out. Nobody can fake
Yeah.
it. The body don't lie. And if it can produce that type of energy, because it will show
Hmm.
without a shadow of a doubt, that means that you did some work. No angel came in you was working when nobody was looking. That's the thing about the body. I saw some person today
Absolutely.
that I didn't see for a while. They had to just say, not tooting my own horn, but man, you transformed again since the last time I saw you. Yeah, but I know I've been working. They said,
Hmm.
now, did they transform too? Yes, they did. They gained more weight. I could
Different
name some other things,
transformation.
different
Yeah.
transformations. But one thing about the physical body is always going to be moving.
Hmm.
So that's why you need some type of thing in your lifestyle to have that type of
Hmm.
movement. Because keep in mind, energy is motion.
Hmm.
Energy is the ability to do work. So even when we do standing still like a tree, even though it seems like you're standing still, the reason why Qigong is the foundation of internal arts
Hmm.
is because when you're standing still, that gives the internal organs and the blood and all this a chance to move. The
Hmm.
body didn't totally be still, but you're being still from the five senses, so the body can work within.
Hmm.
And you see how I say that Qigong is the foundation of
It makes sense.
internal arts. Mm-hmm.
It makes
And
sense.
a lot of people, they probably learned other things first. This was what I think was the mistake. They probably learned this meditation first or this or learn Tai Chi without learning how to sit still in the body. So that's why when they do come to this art and say, man, my energy never felt like this. This was actually what you should have learned first
Hmm. Hmm.
before a
Wow.
student could all martial arts.
Hmm.
The first stance they give them is the horse stance. You ever see those movies where they just standing still in the horse stance? And the student like, well, I gotta keep standing here. I want to learn how to fight. And they're like, be quiet, just stand there.
Wow. They do say that.
Yeah. So the internal energy could build up. Other than that, if you jump to try to learn the skill without being still, your kung fu is going to be
Yeah.
junk.
It reminds me of that movie Karate Kid. Karate Kid.
Karate Kid.
Yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
reminds me of that. He wanted to fight, but he had to go through all of these little steps,
All
like
these
washing the
little steps.
windows and, what movement, what all of that. It's the same thing. And I think
Same
like,
thing.
yeah, I think a lot of people think that, if I do Qigong, I will be enlightened or like they are just seeking something that like I don't even know what kind of word I can
I'm,
use for that, but they
I'm
seeking
just saying that
something.
a
Yeah. So
fantasy.
the thing is like when you know your own fuel, let's say that you say everybody is consistent with something, right? People are
Mm-hmm.
consistent with getting their food every day.
Mm-hmm.
People are consistent by drinking, eating, all of that every day because of they believe that's the fuel that they need, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you shift your energy and you know like okay, I get my energy through movements, like I get my fuel through movements, through sitting
Mm-hmm.
still, just having my arms up like this. I don't want to fight, but this brings me energy,
Right.
right? So I know that that's my fuel, and that's why I gravitate towards that. It's not
Mm-hmm.
like I'm not thinking that I'm doing something fancy when I'm doing Qigong. I know, like, this is how I'm generating energy
It's
through
sensation.
myself when I'm
Right.
doing meditation, when I do any other movement. So I feel like when people realize that that's the real fuel, they will
Mm-hmm.
gravitate towards that, like, like they would do with the food.
Oh
And that would become
yeah.
like
Well, on the positive side, this knowledge is good because it is growing. It's coming into the West more and more. And the
Mm-hmm.
thing about it, we do got a lot of technology now that's
Okay.
showing people their energy field. That's not an argument no more. People learning that there's energy in the air, so we ain't got to be spooky about it no more. You know, there's voltage. We ain't got to do no spooky names.
Mm-hmm.
And it all goes to the sun. At least
Mm-hmm.
I'm shooting straight from the hip. That's not an argument. So the
Mm-hmm.
good thing about the West is growing more and more, and the East. So let me don't act like the East is better than the West. Not at all. The whole humanity is relearning due to what we've been through.
Mm-hmm.
So, but however, how should we say? The positive thing is, as time keep going year after year, more people is getting it clicking, getting it clicking. But there was a time we fasted all by itself, whatever. But on this journey, you ain't fasting your way in. So even when I talk about qigong, that's why you're fasting in order to have a better qigong.
Mm-hmm.
You're making diet changes to have a better qigong.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing physical exercises to have a stronger vehicle to have a better qigong. And then you're having better thought processes because your electromagnetic field has it. So it all centered around, they all work together, they weave
Mm-hmm.
together. So
Mm-hmm.
that's like a special ingredient within itself. It's just not one
Mm-hmm.
thing, it's the totality of it. And all it's going to do is, if you really do this journey properly, it'll break that mythical fantasy stuff, like I want to be a light or divine. And people don't even know what that means. Actually, it
I
don't
know.
exist. It's just some words. You might as well say it.
Mm-hmm.
A
There's a lot of words out there.
lot of
Yeah.
words. And
Mm-hmm.
everybody going for that. You know. And good luck if you find it. When you find it, let me know.
Yeah. I would like to know too when you reach that level, It's like there's no destination. I know it's like a fancy saying that life is a journey, not a destination, but it's actually true.
Yeah,
It's not just a saying, it's actually true.
it's actually
But
true.
everybody is still trying to get to a destination somehow.
Right.
And it
What are you doing with your time?
mhm.
So that's why this makes it. I'm glad you brought that up. So like I did a video today when I was comparing it with bodybuilding, but the thing about that is,
Mhm.
say if you got an event coming up
Mhm.
and you're preparing for that event, but once you do that event, whether if you win or lose, at
Mhm.
that moment, the event is over.
Mhm.
So just like when we talk about a sports team going for a
Mhm.
championship, okay, you made it to the championship, but that night when it's over, it's over.
It's over.
Now what? You got to prepare
Exactly.
for another event. But the
Mhm.
breathtaking journey is different. That's why it has no
Mhm.
destinations. That's why just take that goal out. You're going
Mhm.
to continue to keep going. There is no off season. There is no,
Infinite
this type of
journey.
celebration. Right. That's why you got to do things that's sustainable.
Mhm.
Like one guy called me and said, "Okay, I've been doing one day of not eating once a week. Should I add another day in?" But no, not now. You just start. Strengthen your meditation.
Mhm. Yeah.
Patience. Strengthen your It ain't strong enough
Mhm.
yet.
Mhm. Yeah, it's this all of these goals and all of these. Okay, I'm gonna become a breatharian. I'm gonna become this. I'm gonna become that. It's just yeah, it's the illusion. And then
Right.
again, like I said, if you just find your fuel, if you understand this in a different
Well,
way, you wouldn't.
I like what somebody said that was real good when I was in Mongolia.
Hmm.
What did he say? He started really laughing when he heard the message because he said, "Elitom, this is the message that all masters in the past was teaching.
Hmm.
People just coming to it now because they just heard the part you could go without eating. Why
Wow.
weren't you doing it before?
Yeah.
See what I'm getting at? Clickbait."
Yeah. I believe that. I believe that. And the non-eating thing, Elitom, I think
Mhm.
eating is really a learned habit.
Oh,
So
without a doubt.
yeah,
Without a
I
Yeah.
didn't even know it was a war against like, oh, I don't want to eat or people overeat or this. I know that people are overweight and stuff, but I didn't know that food was drug in that kind of capacity.
Well, let's change the wording one more time. Food consumption.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, your window of consumption.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind, all beings consume energy. It's
Yeah.
just some energy is denser than others. So we
Mm-hmm.
got to change the wording so it can start changing. Because the reason why this is important, I also run into a lot of people that's having trouble
Mm-hmm.
with their mental thinking. Like one woman, no, this is bad. She's on a binge journey, but on one level, I'm not supposed to be eating all food as poison. Now, on a higher level of breatharian thought, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
But to tell somebody that in the beginning, it can mess up their mind.
Mm, absolutely.
A lot of people can't handle it.
Yeah.
So that's why
Because they want to
it's
cut it off, but it's not something that you're supposed to cut off. It's
their
supposed to let
body's
go of
not there
you.
yet.
Yeah.
Their body's not there yet. So this is why
Mm-hmm.
they're working.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have been getting a lot of questions. I know when we say there's no stupid questions, but lately, oh my God.
Yeah.
Where did this person come from with that type of thinking?
Mm-hmm.
You run into it. But it's understandable again because the mind is the body. And if you've
Mm-hmm.
been abusing the energy of food, it's also messed up the thinking.
It it really
I
has.
can see
Yeah.
why this is
Yeah.
right.
The silly questions are coming from what we put in as well.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, yeah.
It's
So
all
because
part.
like everything we put in, Elitom, it's altering our consciousness, how we see things, how we hear things, how we are in reality, and how
Without
we
a doubt.
participate in reality. Everything, literally. So if you drink alcohol, you out there drunk, saying whatever, however that,
Right.
if you go and eat some fries and burgers, it's a very settled, kind of reaction that it has on the body. But I think most of us are just so used to it, or people are just
Right. You
so
don't
used to
notice
all
it.
of this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of like constantly intoxicated, looking for a drug, looking for a drug, looking for a drug.
Right.
And now people want some relief because of they can't control themselves by
Mm-hmm.
not needing these substances. So the food is the drug in a sense.
The
So
food is the
would
drug.
you say,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, we all eat. People say like, oh, you don't eat, you breatharian, this, but I do eat, right? So
What you're absorbing and consuming
exactly.
is the difference.
So
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So in the air, would you say we have like the same kind of effect, whatever that we're breathing in? Because we can't see, you and I cannot see what we're breathing in, right? So would you say that that has an effect on us, on our consciousness, and how we view reality as well, because of what's in the
Oh,
air?
well, let's look at the three treasures in life.
Mm-hmm.
You got food, water, and breath.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the three treasures in life. But the most powerful is breath because you'll die without breathing
Exactly.
than you will faster without eating or drinking. Now, the
Mm-hmm.
other good part is there's a thing called deep diving, and you don't even need to deep dive when you're going under the ocean, holding your breath for
Mm-hmm.
long periods of time. But even if you was to hold your breath for a long period of time,
Mm-hmm.
every situation you're dealing with, everything you're thinking about, whether it was a problem or this or that in life, it doesn't matter. You'll forget about it. And you'll start going in more and more because the body's going into survival mode.
Mm.
Then
Makes
if you
sense.
stay in that position too long, you'll
Mm-hmm.
pass out and can even die, which is just showing you that the air is consciousness. That's what's making you conscious.
It really is. It really is. Because
Without
when
it,
you
you
were born,
ain't
if you
gonna be
didn't breathe,
conscious.
yeah,
Right. And your
absolutely.
more than just breathing through your nose, you live in it. It's doing so much things that's taking place all over the body. And your skin, which is the largest organ, it's absorbing so many things from different places. You're living in this substance, sort of like a
Mm-hmm.
fish living in water.
Mm-hmm.
It is
Yeah,
consciousness, so you want to be conscious.
I believe that. So the so the air, can you do you believe that the air quality depends on what we serve, like the food outside? Let's say like we have KFC and everything here, and everything goes up in the air, and then we walk
Oh, without a
along.
doubt.
Okay.
Even though energy is everywhere, there's some environments that are more nutritious than others.
Yeah.
The air quality is a lot better. That's why
Mm-hmm.
there's even things that says, like a big corporation. Boy, by them polluting the air, those are people that need to be locked up. Now I know that sounds kind of harsh, but that is. You destroy your environment,
Yeah.
the air quality, you can become extinct.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Absolutely.
that real.
Yeah. Because breath
It
is
is.
the only thing that keeps us alive.
And it's consciousness.
Mm.
Let's take it even deeper. This is why I named it the solar breatharian journey. The air that you live in, the energy that's in it, is
Mm-hmm.
fueled by the sun. Whether it's
Mm.
night and day, north or south, near the equator, it doesn't matter. The
Mm.
sun is fueling the air for you to live.
Yeah.
So this is why, again, it's just full circle. That name solar breatharian is telling you a story.
Mm.
Solar, solar, solar. Without the sun, you're gone. All the food
Yeah.
you eat
I mean,
now,
like
the sun
plants
has
wouldn't
something
even
to do
grow.
with it. Right.
Yeah.
And the animals and all this, they wouldn't be around. No, it
No.
was over with.
I
Especially
mean,
us.
everything is connected. Everything is really connected when it comes to nature. Another thing I was thinking also when it comes to the air, you know how air just up in the air and we just walking in it, and everything that comes out from the restaurants, from the cars, whatever we're breathing in. When it comes to human beings, everybody carries some type of energy. I carry my own energy. People carry their own energy. Um, would you say that the people are also emitting energy out that can affect the whole? You know, everybody's energy is also like outside and it can affect somebody because during COVID, here in the United States at least, it became very quiet. People were in their house and stuff. I felt more peace outside because it was less people that were emitting the same energy all the time. It happened the same time now during the election. Also, people got quiet just the night of the election when Trump won. Then I
Right.
find also another type of peace in the air or in the atmosphere. So would you say the energy of everybody is also kind of altering the reality,
Well, let's
our
go.
reality?
Let's go to this word air.
Mm-hmm.
Now, keep in mind that this word spirituality or spirit,
Mm-hmm.
that is not an ancient term. Let me repeat.
Okay.
That's not an ancient term. That is the term that replaced air.
Hmm.
That is the term that replaced air. That's why if you look up the word prana, really get the definition, write it down.
Mm-hmm.
Chi, write it down. Ka, write it down. Write them all down. It's going to bring up air or breath.
Hmm.
That is the ancient term for spirit, for number one. Now, are
Hmm.
you generating your own energy? Yes, there's a thing if you want to look it up called biophoton therapy and all this other
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So yes, you do generate your own light. So we're all affected. And that's why you got an electromagnetic field. Then you got this thing called synergy. Synergy means this this person has their electromagnetic field, they have theirs. When y'all meet and y'all talking, it overlaps
Mm-hmm.
each other. Again,
Mm-hmm.
meditation. I got different groups where they recognize it now. It's stronger when we're all meditating together than by yourself.
It makes
So
sense.
that's why on the breathing journey, when I be talking about meditation, the foundation,
Mm-hmm.
and I know a person could be struggling
Mm-hmm.
if they're by themselves or they're not really grounded in meditation. You know, try to
Mm-hmm.
get with the group to keep you responsible, but also learn to develop meditating on your own. So in the beginning, you kind of need both of them.
Mm.
Does this make any sense? Yeah, because it is tough trying to generate your own energy to grow at that level and have that type of discipline by yourself. It can
Yeah.
be done, but there's just more energy where there's people. And it's sort of
Mm-hmm.
like antennas because we're all basically like antennas.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And by me working in communications, when there's a whole lot of antennas together, it has a stronger transmission and reception due to
Mm-hmm.
them being together compared to antenna being alone.
Mm. Yeah, it
That's
make.
just the way things work.
Mm-hmm.
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 So,
So this reality. Yeah, go ahead.
so do we transmit energy? Yes, we do. All physical matter transmit, radiate, and absorbs energy. TSR.
Mm.
Transmit, radiate, and absorb energy. And we
Yeah.
do too.
So
Mm-hmm.
subconsciously, people are just emitting different energies and different type of.
And keep in mind in the breath and knowledge, because that word subconscious, what is it? See, it's the physical body.
Mm.
The energy is being emitted from your physical body, and all your trauma, all your experiences is there, so it's coming off your body
Mm-hmm.
unknowingly, consciously. That's what we mean by you're releasing your trauma. You're dealing with your emotions. They start
Mm-hmm.
coming up. You can start crying. You have different symptoms. Past memories start coming up because it's stored in the physical body.
Mm-hmm.
That's your subconscious.
It's release. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It makes so much sense. It makes so much sense.
Because if we don't define these words, subconscious, if we're looking at something that's invisible, you can't touch it. See, at the end of the day, what it boils down to, they'll say you're using four bodies in this realm: the
Mm-hmm.
physical, the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
But as you be on this journey more and more, you'll find out, like what I said, spirit is just another word for the air. I mean, you got to face it. We put that word there. So this don't exist.
It makes
Everything
sense.
your
Mm-hmm.
mind is your body. Right
Mm-hmm.
now, where we are in 2024, all scientists or whoever, it's an agreement. There's no argument behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty soon, your mind, I need to work on my mind. That don't exist.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, your
It makes so much
physical
sense.
body, nobody can argue against that.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Nobody can argue against that. Your physical body. That's the only thing that exists.
Mm-hmm.
That is your emotion. Your emotions is in your body.
It stores in the body. It makes so much sense. Elitom, when you say that the air, it's spirit, it makes so much sense because when a baby is born, they try to get that first breath out. If you don't take that first breath, you're not considered alive, right? You're
Right.
not
And then watch
considered
a
a
baby.
participant here on this reality, so you're dead.
Right.
So when that soul enters your essence,
Right.
when that enters, that's when you are part of this game.
That's
So
when you're
it
part of
makes
the game.
sense.
And then a friend of mine, I said, "How you doing? How your family doing?" He said, "My mother just died. We stayed with her till the last breath.
Mm-hmm.
When the
You see?
when the spirit left, when the breath left, when the air left,
Mm-hmm.
that was that.
It makes so much sense. It
And
makes
on you
so much
going
sense.
on a breathtaking journey, let's go back.
Mm-hmm.
A person learning how to meditate by releasing stress and tension in the body, so more
Mm-hmm.
air, more breath could go through the body, so you can become alive and get healthy.
Mm-hmm.
When the breath leaves and get kicked out, that's when you're going to first experience sickness, illness, and disease. And if you don't take care of it, you're going to die.
Yeah. It leaves the body. Yeah.
Leaves the body.
It
Oh
makes
man,
so
this
much
is
sense.
good. It's
Yeah.
all basics again. We just made it more difficult, more spooky, and all this other stuff. But the
Yeah.
basic stuff.
And then the body holds all this emotion. That's why I always tell people like, hey, when they say, why don't you eat meat or this, the flesh holds the emotions, right? So if I eat some flesh, that emotions and whatever and trauma that animal have gone through goes directly through me.
Well,
So because of
most people is on that level of knowledge you're given now, but on the higher levels of breath and
Mhm.
knowledge, you're picking up the karma of both animals and plants. I know you hate
Mhm.
to hear that, but the plants too.
The
And you
plants
won't
are
notice that
alive.
until it'll still change your thinking.
Mhm.
See,
Absolutely.
what you're learning to do is he who eat less live longer. You're
Mhm.
learning to eat less so you can get more air, which is breath, through the body. And then when you do go to lighter foods to go through the intestines a lot better, if there's any reason for the plants and animals, the plants or the fruit, so they could go through the body a lot quicker,
Mhm.
so you can
Mhm.
maintain that state. But act like it's giving your life in a better thought process, really not. All the animal cares about is all the tree cares about. It don't care about a human being. It cares that the animal, no matter what it is, carry its seed around when you use the bathroom for eating its fruit, so it can reproduce.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm
It makes
serious. We
sense.
gotta go
Mhm.
there.
No,
Because
really.
imagine,
And then, some people run with that part too. Like, oh my God, I can't eat an apple because of the apple, this it's alive and this and that. So the mind can do so much. The mind can do
it can
so
do so
much.
much. That's why you do need people with stable
Mm-hmm.
thinking. Because there's some people I gotta just say lead a journey alone because the mind ain't there. If the mind ain't there, yeah, you can hurt yourself or hurt others. And it's just that real. You could die from drinking too much water.
Yeah,
All right.
you can.
This
You
is
really can.
right.
I used to
Oh
always
my
tell
God.
tell people, hey, you can die. I'm not eating. It's not that you cannot because it's in the mind. You
Mm-hmm.
know, if you really think this is your fuel and you're cutting it off, yeah, you will die.
And the mind is all right. Let's look at it. It's all in the
Hmm.
mind, but the mind is the body.
Yeah,
So if the body is not prepared, your mind you don't have it in your mind. You just believe.
you just believe. Yeah, that makes sense.
When the mind knows it's in the body, that and the
Yeah,
body can function on that level. Other than that, it's not there.
yeah. I believe when
And
people
that's
are
what.
forcing things, it's the mind doing it. When the body decides to get rid of it, it will be gone.
Oh, without a doubt.
Mm.
Without a doubt. Well, how did it get there?
Yeah, not associated with the mind so much. I think a lot of people think they control this. "Oh, I need to stop eating. But the problem is not like even the word fasting. I'm fasting from food. I'm fasting from this. It's just, it's a fancy word to just use I'm not eating or I'm not searching for that drug. But at the
Right.
end of the day, you're not supposed to put in things all the time anyway. So you're
Well,
supposed to be in a fasted kind of state all the time.
well, let's go back to it. Because fasting is in religious, spiritual circles. It's been there for thousands of years. And one thing they said that fasting brings you closer to divinity. Now they threw that word there, divinity.
Mm-hmm.
But let's take out that word because we don't know what it means.
Yeah.
How should I say that?
It's just words, Elitom.
It's bringing you closer to the air. You have better airflow.
Mm-hmm.
The air is spirit. We could say the air is God, and the spirit by the sun. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
go back full circle. We can keep going over it time and time again until it clicks.
Mm-hmm.
Time and time again until it clicks. Mm-hmm. That's why you see. What did the sun give you? Heat, light. In the
Mm-hmm.
daytime, what you can see, that's free light, and it gives you energy.
Yeah.
Without those things, you're through. So it's going to go back
It's so.
full circle. Even the wind, there's not really no wind power. That's solar power. When you feel a breeze, if you really
Mm-hmm.
do science, that comes from temperature changes, but it comes from the sun. When you see water power, what is water power? Water power is solar power. When you really understand the science, it's going to bring you full circle. So what makes you think we're so different? You're going to live without the sun. It's going to go full circle. This is why you got to learn energy. Solar energy actually animates everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I believe, like I said, I believe everything is, connected. This universe. Like I'm looking at a tree right now. I don't see any tree just going out of their way going to KFC. It's just right there, receiving the sun, the air, and everything. It's just present right here. So, I mean, our mind have made us do the things we do.
Well, we can't blame it on the tree because if the tree had our mind, it probably will go to KFC.
Yeah, exactly.
So it ain't like the tree is doing better.
Hmm.
That just shows you the power that we have of this thinking. But it's so powerful. All it is it's going another way.
Hmm.
And it isn't that
It
we're
destroys
bad.
itself.
It's just that
Yeah.
you can. You can. And all we're doing is just changing it around.
Yeah.
And you're still making those. And I wouldn't even say you can make choices because on the higher levels, you're still under predetermination. That's not even a debate no more, but that's a whole nother
Yeah.
lesson for a person to realize that.
Yeah. I mean, life is a fun journey. That I know. Every day
Oh,
you
without a
discover
doubt.
something.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I told some people that tonight I don't feel like hanging out because I just want to sit into the energy. I mean, this is the lifestyle you're living, which
Hmm.
is good. It's fun. What do you do with your time? Time management again.
Yeah.
So that is the thing that separates a person who seems lazy compared
Hmm.
to a person that seems disciplined. It's how
Yeah.
they're using their time. And a person who seems disciplined made things easy accessible,
Hmm.
easily accessible,
Hmm.
so they can do those things compared to somebody else who's making it too far away. Give you an example. I'm going to the gym in the morning, but it's right around the corner, really, really close.
Okay.
There's other gyms that got better equipment, more stuff. I couldn't. I got the time to go there,
Hmm.
but what happens is dealing with the mind, make it easier to get to so you can do it.
Yeah.
Does this make a sense?
Convenient.
If I were to get that other one that's further away, it'd be a lot harder to get there, and that's what people do. They have good intentions, but they make things too hard to get to, and
Mm.
it'll weaken down pretty soon because you're going to wake up a day without motivation. That happens to everybody.
Hmm. Hmm.
Oh man. So that's why discipline, it can be developed and it has to be developed. And you'll get more skill by making things more accessible to you than somebody who's making it more far away. Even on the
Yeah, right.
journey, I converted my kitchen where I didn't need a refrigerator no more
Hmm.
and stuff like that, on the journey. But when you got those temptations away from you, it builds another lifestyle and you can grow. I'm not saying you got to go do that,
Hmm.
but that's what I want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like when you eliminate one thing, then you will find so much more to do with your time, right?
With your time.
So let's say like now you don't go out of your way to find some food. Like one thing I've
Right.
noticed, I travel also every time, and everywhere I travel, people always look for something new to eat. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
what is it? It's a new fruit, or it's a new thing, or it's a new that. I never worry about that, and I feel like that takes away like so much energy. If I was thinking about what kind of fruits it is in the country that I'm going to, that would take so much energy from me. I'm just thinking like, okay, I'm just gonna go and enjoy myself. I may not even have like a one single plan, but I have like, I would have blast. But it's it's what you eliminate. You can actually have more time
You can
and
have
and
more
more fun.
time.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm glad you brought that up because I see some people struggling. We went to Mombasa, which is here in
Hmm.
Kenya,
Hmm.
the Indian Ocean, beautiful. But on one level, we got this nice, beautiful resort where we're cultivating, but at the same time around it, you got all these temptations. The new
Mm.
food and all of this.
Yeah.
And you see some people struggling with the two worlds.
Wow.
But you got to go through that. That builds
Mm.
growth and all of other this stuff. And then that questions going in your mind. One man said, as he's on his way to Mombasa,
Mhm.
I got a chance to better myself with this energy and go back home and change. But then again, there's a lot of good food I never tasted before.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So the two fights
Two.
took place, and the other one, the food won out.
Mm.
Poor thing, but he had to learn. That was just part of his learning experience.
Wow.
See, one thing to say something out of your mouth until you're in that
Mhm.
situation. Whole nother ballgame.
Mm.
Temptation was creeping.
Wow. Yeah. It is the mind and how we actually cultivate the energy from within. Because I
Yeah.
would be excited about trees as well. I've never seen a banana tree, for example. But my first thing wouldn't be like, go and eat a banana. You would be like, oh my God, there's a tree. I've never seen a banana tree. How do they grow? I've seen bananas all my life, but I've never seen a banana
Right,
tree.
right, right.
So I would have more excitement in that. But then maybe later something was like, okay, maybe I
Right.
should try these bananas or whatever that came up later. But my first thought would be,
Well,
wow, banana tree? This is how they
it
look like?
happens. I remember
Yeah.
one time I was in Mexico and I had to encourage a friend, try one of the mangoes. You like mangoes, don't try to be like me. And when they tasted it, they were so happy because I was the best mango they had in their life. See,
Oh.
this is part of the journey too, not denying yourself,
Mm-hmm.
trying to be like somebody else. You got your own personal best.
Exactly. I love
Then
that message.
on a that'll keep you on a journey a lot longer and make it
Mm-hmm.
more sustainable because you gave yourself permission to
Mm-hmm.
also live fully.
Exactly.
See, the main thing you're learning on the beginning is not to abuse the energy. That's just
Mm-hmm.
humanity's problem. They're abusing, the balance is off, and all this other stuff. And all you're learning how to do is slow things down and get to things that really counts first, and then you can deal with other things. Because it goes back
Absolutely.
to your health is your wealth.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, everybody got a different path. Our path is on the inside, I always say, and
Hmm.
it's not identical. Everybody got a
But it's
different
fun though.
path. Yeah.
It his body get to catching on more energy. That's why I got to get people consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Cultivate. That's my thing. My bread and butter, no pun intended. But
Mm-hmm.
once it grows and the body start catching on, the body will start surprising you, which is the
Exactly.
mind.
Mm.
Which is the mind. Because when the body can start doing things new, it builds up confidence. You know you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
You thought you couldn't do it before. And that changes the mind, the whole outlook. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. It is the mind. You know, when you itch some part of your body, it's the mind telling, okay, that's where we're itching, right? So it's all connected. And I believe that when the body let go, you really would just, you know, live your best life. Like however
Live
that
your
looks
best.
like. It doesn't have to look like mine. It doesn't have to look like yours, you know? Like everybody got a unique
When your
way of
body let go. I like the way
exactly.
you said that. Not when the mind let go, when the body let go. It
Hmm.
is the mind. See, that's
Yeah.
my new thing. I got to keep teaching it over and over again until it's soaked in.
But the
When
mind and
this
the
let
body
go,
is not separated.
they're
It's
not separated.
no.
Never have been
But
and never will be.
yeah.
So when the body let go, that's why you're working on the body. On the rest of your journey, you're working directly with the body. Because
Hmm.
you know
Hmm.
why? It's not an argument, and everybody got one.
Absolutely.
But when we play that mental game and spiritual game, you can hide behind stuff. You don't know if a person's lying or not. You seeing that angel with 5 wings. You know, we can play all day long.
Yeah, the mind can take you to so many different trips. I think you can go on a vacation with your mind, you know, but you don't have to be on the
Ah,
vacation all the time.
out to
You
lunch.
have to be
Out to
vacation
lunch.
all the time.
The lights is
Yeah.
on and nobody's home.
Hmm.
But gotta love this, bringing it back home. But anyway, boy, time flies when we're having fun. We
Yes.
chopped down an hour already.
Yes. Thank you so much, Elitom. This was fun.
Oh
And
yeah, once again, keep
yes.
up the good work and keep on growing and keep on influencing the world with your energy. All
Thank
right.
you. Likewise. All right.
Peace.
Much love. Bye.